Hey there, welcome to Morning Manna. I'm Pastor Greg coming to you from sunny southern Idaho, and we are working our way through the Psalms. And we pulled up about the middle of Psalm 25 last time, so I think that's where we're gonna put back in today. So Psalm 25 is a Psalm of David, and written, we think anyway, upon the occasion of Absalom, his son, taking over Jerusalem and King David's throne, David leaving in embarrassment, to a certain degree for sure, with a number of his men, and so there's a real depth of hurt and heartache over this in David's life, as you would imagine, having your boy to stage a coup against you, to be diametrically opposed to you, to become an enemy of you. So David begins to pour out his heart to the Lord and says, just amazing things, like about humility and how God teaches the humble. And even in a moment like that where you're dealing with a certain amount of shame and you're feeling a certain amount of failure and so on, David isn't lashing out and fighting back at this point. He's reorienting himself to who God is and to how God responds to us. He opposes the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. So David, even in this moment, he's going, Lord, you teach the humble. And so I'm gonna maintain this posture of humility before you and before men, because I want to hear your voice in the midst of this very difficult time. Well, moving on, in verse 11, David says, "For your name's sake, O Lord, pardon my guilt, for it is great." So you can just kind of imagine David going, man, there's guilt in my life. And, it seems like, especially when there's some sort of failure or some sort of turn of events that goes against us, that we can tend to be much more cognizant of our moral failures. Man, I should have done this, and I failed there, and why didn't I talk to this person? Why didn't I do this or do that? All that kind of thing. And that gets exacerbated when we're in a difficult moment like this. And so, but David, notice, he says, for your name's sake, Lord. For your, people are going to think of you as great because you are, but you're great because you are a God who cleanses sin and removes our guilt. Well, verse 12, who is the man who fears the Lord? Him will he instruct in the way that he should choose. His soul shall abide in well-being. So the person who fears the Lord, that is, lives in awe, loving awe and respect of God. And the fear of the Lord is a fear that trumps all other fears. It's the fear that chases away all other fears. So if I have a fear of talking to that person, well, my fear of the Lord will chase away the fear of talking to that person, because it's the ultimate fear. If I have a fear of, you name it, the fear of the Lord will chase away the other fear. So there's a verse in the New Testament, perfect love, meaning God's love, casts out fear. And that's the idea, is fear of the Lord is not a phobic, I'm scared of God, but it's a loving respect. And the fear of the Lord causes every other fear to flee. So, but notice that this person who fears the Lord, that his soul shall abide in well-being. Isn't that great? His soul shall abide, shall be in well-being. Shalom. Circumstances can be messed up, and things can be kind of haywire in our life circumstantially, but my soul is abiding in well-being. It is well with my soul, you see. And when it is well with our soul, it's like it doesn't matter what's going on around us. It really doesn't. And so the peace of the Lord, guarding our hearts and minds in Christ Jesus, is such a precious, precious thing. Well, verse 14, the friendship of the Lord is for those who fear him, and he shall make known to them his covenant. So friendship with the Lord, can you believe? Old Testament, David talking about this, friendship with God. And so apparently that this friendship, this intimacy is for those who fear him. And fear, as we talked about a little bit, it means, loving and respecting God enough that you're going to do what God is showing you to do versus what the other fears are trying to tell you to do. So Jesus talked about this kind of friendship. In John 15, verse 14, he said, "You are my friends if you do what I command you." Now, he's not saying, if you follow these rules, then I'll let you be my friend. No, he's saying you'll demonstrate your friendship with me by walking in obedience to me. That'll be the outflow of our friendship. Verse 15, he says, "No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I've called you friends, for all that I have heard from my Father I've made known to you." So you see, you are my friends, and I've made known the will of God to you. And so now you walking in that demonstrates, in fact, that you are my friends. And I'm not keeping anything back from you, but I'm walking in intimacy with you, sharing my heart. You see, that's the idea. So David goes on, verse 15, "My eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he will pluck my feet out of the net." So I'm keeping my eyes on you, Lord. I'm just always turning my gaze back upon Jesus, the author and finisher of my faith. Verse 16, "Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Bring me out of my distresses. Consider my affliction and my trouble, and forgive all my sins." So here David gets just candid with God. Lord, I'm lonely. I feel all alone. I know I've got men around me, but I feel isolated and alone, and I am afflicted. The troubles that are plaguing my heart are enlarged. I'm just obsessing over some of these thoughts. And Lord, consider this trouble that I'm in and deliver me. Verse 19, "Consider how many are my foes, and with what violent hatred they hate me. O guard my soul and deliver me. Let me not be put to shame, for I take refuge in you. May integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait for you." I wait for you. Waiting for the Lord will absolutely guarantee that we'll not be put to shame. God will not allow it. So he concludes, "Redeem Israel, O God, out of all his troubles." You might put your name in the place of Israel on that verse. Redeem Greg, O God, out of all his troubles. Redeem Troy. Troy's our cameraman here. Redeem Troy out of all of his troubles. Oh, the Lord is good. Listen, whatever kind of trouble you find yourself in, Christian, the Lord is with you. Turn your eyes to him and let him show himself strong to you. God bless you guys.